Hello and welcome to this mini podcast on the coursework for Changing Trends C10LT. You can probably hear that I've got laryngitis, so I'm struggling a bit speaking, so I hope you can hear me. So Changing Trends is 50% coursework, 50% exam, and the coursework this year is an annotated bibliography, and that's worth 50% of your overall mark, and it's due in on Friday of week 6. Now, all the details for the coursework are up on the Vision site under Assessments. There's a special handbook for the coursework, and so please read that very carefully. You'll see in there that the coursework is due by 5 o'clock on Friday of week 6, and that you don't need to come into campus to submit a hard copy. It's just a Turnitin copy by 5 o'clock. So there's no need to worry about delayed buses, roadworks, snow, or anything like that. You can just submit it. And please make sure you submit it to the right version of Turnitin. Now the coursework is 2,500 words with 10% either way, and the reference list and the in-text citations don't count towards that, so you've got quite a few words to play with there. And you need to pick one of the 3 broad topics. So those are changes in the nature and organisation of work, worker cooperatives, and philanthropian work. And you then need to pick further down that, select your own topic that you're interested in. So for example, you may say, I'm really interested in changes in the nature and organisation of work, but what I'm really interested is the use of artificial intelligence and whether or not automation can take over certain roles. So you may say, I'm going to look at changes in the nature of organisation of work, for example, artificial intelligence and professional services, because we know a lot of professional services may well go automated, for example, lawyers and GPs. So you need to narrow down that topic. You could focus on a particular sector, on a particular type of change in the nature organisation of work, particular industry. You could compare different countries. You could look at how are these things going to affect women more than men, or disabled people more than non-disabled people, for example. And I'd suggest you pick something that you're interested in. It's an awful lot easier to do an assignment on something that you personally find interesting, and you're likely to get a lot more in depth with the literature on that. Now the key thing is you need to find 10 peer-reviewed journal papers. So that means not books, it means not newspaper articles, not working papers, not reports from the government. So it's 10 peer-reviewed journal papers. If you're any doubt, there's some information up on Vision how to identify a peer-reviewed journal paper, and you'd find quite a lot online if you Googled. But if you still get stuck, drop me or Ella an email and we can help out. And I'd also suggest that you drop Ella and I an email by the end of week 3 to check your topic, so we can give you some early feedback on that and the kind of things you're hoping to look at. So an annotated bibliography is unlike other types of essays where you would discuss a topic as a whole. For this one, you pick 10 papers and you discuss each one in depth. And it's more than the abstract, so you can't just get away with copying and pasting or rewording the abstract. So if you have a look at the handbook, you'll see that we've set out here exactly what you need to do with each of those papers. But I'm not going to focus on that. What I'd like to focus on is how you get a good mark on this assignment. And that's by demonstrating criticality. So for example, you may look at a paper and think, actually, if we compared paper A with papers B, C and D, we can see that paper A's contributions are somewhat different, or they're limited. Or you may say, actually, this paper's looked at gender and the changing nature of work without drawing on any gender theory, and if we were to look at a gender theory, say for example West and Zimmerman, we might see that gender is changing as well as the nature of work. So that's what we mean by criticality. And this will be helped if you link the papers together. So relate each paper to the broader literature and the other 9 papers that are in the literature review, the annotated bibliography. So you need to have an introduction which sets out the topic, why you're covering it. Then you've got your 10 papers, and then you need to have a conclusion. And this isn't just a summary, although that's very tempting to do. A conclusion is telling the reader what we've learnt by looking at this literature, but also perhaps what we haven't learnt. So what questions remain unanswered from those 10 papers that you've selected. Now, if you go up on Vision, you'll see that I've put up some examples of annotated bibliographies from previous years, and also at the end of the, sorry, that's my cat, at the end of the assessment handbook, I've put an example of an annotated bibliography that wouldn't get a good mark. Although it's perfectly adequate, it's only satisfactory. It wouldn't fall into the very good or the excellent. So we'd probably be looking at something like a C for that piece that's there. So again, drop me or Ella an email with any questions that you've got. Sorry, my cat is knocking my laptop off my lap. So just drop us an email, drop by our office hours, and keep in touch. And if you're struggling for any reason, please let us know, and I'm sure that we can help. So if you've got any questions, check the course handbook or the assessment handbook first. If you can't find answers there, then please drop us an email. And I hope you're all feeling okay and you're not getting this horrible cold that's going around. Bye.